Hi my beloved seller, how is it going? Good. In this video I would like to have an explanation, present you an explanation of one of the most important thing in supply chain management and in Amazon business in general. I assume that you watched my previous videos, but if you didn't, first of all, go watch it. And second of all, we'd like to outline the main idea of how we get the cost of goods sold right here. How does it calculate it according to your ASINs that you have? In order to save money, it's logical and obviously the most right way to do is to buy your goods from the supplier in bulk in huge quantities and make the leverage over them, asking for saving on the MOQ. You know the drill, you know how it works. But there's one particular problem. When you purchase a lot, you don't particularly have the option to ship all of those units right to Amazon. Why? Because Amazon knows better what and how much of inventory it needs to have in the fulfillment center. In other words, sellers don't have a possibility to say, all right, I'm going to ship this amount of units to this fulfillment center and suffice the demand in this territory. That's not how it works. Amazon tells how much and where to ship. So there is a collision of the desires between Amazon and the seller, because seller buys in bulk and he has a bunch of inventory, and Amazon not necessarily have the option to receive all of the inventory. So there is a discrepancy in the amount of units that you want to ship and that you can't ship. I hope it makes sense, but let me show you an example. First of all, look at this Sankey chart and everything. That's beautiful. I'm deeply encourage you to log into propamp.ai and link to your sales center account and see all of it by yourself. But okay, let's go to check this example with this particular ASIN, right? So we have the inventory, we have the balance of the inventory to each day starting from November 12th, and you see the slope is how fast we sell those units. I already explained that. But on the right side, there is an upcoming shipment of 350 units. You see here, this is the shipment that goes to Amazon warehouse distribution, but it doesn't matter where it goes. It links to the purchase order number 188. The naming is speculative. This is our internal usage. We use the numbers. It's easier for us. But if you have your own naming, be my guest. You can name it whatever you want. But what I want to show you is that you see that we're going to deplete the inventory close to end of March. We're going to be around out of stock end of March, which is not good. Again, rule number one, never be out of stock. Never. Luckily, we have the purchase order for 188. So I click to this shipment and click here to go directly to the purchase order 188. I'm going to blur some sensitive information here, but you will get the idea of what's going on here. So there is an ASIN. This is the ASIN that we were checking, and we bought 1,700 units from our supplier. And those 1,700 units are distributed to different fulfillment centers. There is a tab called unit allocation on the right hand side of the purchase order page. And you see there are some units that are still unallocated. So in other words, we purchased them from our supplier. He keeps them in their warehouse and he waits when we tell them where to go, where to ship those units, and when ship them. But in order to keep track on that, because it's not that easy when you have 17 countries, like 12 to 20 ASINs, it's super hard to keep track on that. So what we have in propamp.ai is the creation of a draft shipment. This is very beautiful. I can show you. So we go to the shipments and we click draft shipment, and we're gonna create the draft shipment that will be shown in stock panel as a draft one, obviously. So we call it draft pounds, 126 pieces goes to USA. This is fully debatable yet. I know that my supplier is capable to ship close to 150 units, but I don't know exactly, so I put 126. Then I would create the real shipment and Amazon will tell me the real number. That's how it works. So we go to the catalog, we select the ASIN that we want to ship, and we set the quantity 126, and we link this quantity to the purchase order. So we're linking this to purchase order, and immediately the warning tab pops up. What does it say? It says basically, you know what, buddy, you have more units in your purchase order, but you want to ship only 126. What's wrong with it? Are you sure? So there are three options what we're going to do, right? You either select that you want to ship 126, exact amount that you outlined in a draft shipment, or you want to ship the amount you made a mistake and you want to ship the amount that you have in a purchase order, or you just combine them, which is not what we're going to do. So we click the version that I import, 126. It immediately sucks in the second ASIN that you have in a purchase order. To be honest, we'll erase this feature, so I'll just delete this. We have draft shipment, we have the draft quantity, so we click create shipment. Once it's created, it brings us to the shipment page, where the most important thing is we need to configure the lead time. By default, we take the lead time of 60 days, but depending on the unit, it could be faster. I know that this unit is going to be backed up on February 17th. I know the freight forwarder told me that the shipping would take like days, and I know that there will not be a significant delays, holds, or anything. So I expect in my internal details, I expect them by the 17th of March. So I can attribute the FBA check-in for 3 days. So I expect these units to be delivered on March 17th. I click save, the shipment is saved. The draft shipment is saved. What I'm gonna do then, I can add the cost that I would incur for this shipment. To be honest, I already know that because it's going to be the AGL shipment, and they told me that the whole process would take me $133. So just go and can put freight cost 133. Distribution method, this is just one ASIN, doesn't matter. I can click even, add this cost, I save this change. And now I have my landed cost of the unit. All right. Then what I'm gonna do, I go back to the stock panel. Where is it? Okay. We go back to the stock panel. We go back to this particular ASIN, this one. And you see, it immediately pops up. The draft shipment that we just created shows me that we're not gonna run out of stock in the middle of April, more or less, depending on the sales velocity, depending on the demand. Obviously, we cannot control it, but at least we bought some time because, again, we purchased a lot from the supplier. Supplier keeps the unit, and our job is to replenish the inventory to Amazon in order to be in and out of stock. Makes sense. Another cool feature is that, let me zoom in a little bit. You see the different of this green candle and this green candle. You might think like, what the hell? Why? The reason being is this one, the upcoming shipment on the left, is the real shipment. It already exists in the central, and it's already linked to the order that we have, and it's already confirmed the estimated arrival date, and in some sense it's a real thing. However, the right one, we just created it. It's just draft shipment. It doesn't exist yet. We didn't confirm it yet. For the sake of the video, of course, we already confirmed it. But you create this when you want to assess of you need to have the inventory. You create the shipment and set them for the future. I hope that makes sense, right? What I'm gonna do now, and go back to the purchase order. And again, since I told you that for the sake of this video, we already have everything. I can tell you because I already deleted this draft shipment and already linked it to real one. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go to this draft shipment. You see this draft shipment that we just created. It has the specific which is linked to the blockchain and has a hash rate, so you are not with another shipment with the same name. It doesn't matter. We just have the name. So we click on this little van, go to the view shipment, and what I'm gonna do is I want to convert it to the real one. So again, I have a real shipment. It's already in Seller Central. I just want to replace my draft one with a real one. It might sounds like ambiguous, but if you're a supply chain manager and you're responsible for the replenishment of the inventory, you understand what I'm saying. You get it. So we click the shipment. Let me see how it's called. Yeah, I think it's this one. No, it's called 25 MK. Yeah. So I click on this one and I click the storage merge process. What it says is that you have a little like conflicting data. So the data of costs is conflicting and the lead time is conflicting. However, I already did that. I already know that the estimated time of arrival is certain and the cost is certain. I already had them in a draft. So I just click to replace this data and delete the draft and relink PO. So what it's going to do, it's going to replace my quantity from the draft shipment to the real quantity. And what it's going to do, it's going to replace the lead time that I have in the draft shipment and the cost that I have in the draft shipment to the real one. And I click on the confirm merge, goes to processing, takes me back to the draft shipment for no reason. We go back to the purchase order, 188, refresh the page. And now what we expecting to see is to have this shipment. Here it is. You see, the lead time is exactly as we put into draft shipment. We click on the shipment, on the little van, we go to the shipment. The lead time is linked, the cost is linked, and the landed unit is linked. The very last thing that we need to check is to go to the stock panel once again, choose our ASIN, and just to confirm that the drafted shipment is gone and we have only the real one. Yeah, here it is. You see, there is no red fence over it anymore. It's already linked to the purchase order. It's linked to our number and it has everything. And we expect this unit. So now our estimated time when we got deplete our inventory moved to right to middle of April, more or less. Of course, the demand can be debatable. We can switch the demand for how much of a sales velocity would be of this particular unit, but approximately like the average sales velocity within 90 days is 20 pieces per day. So the stock depletes 20 pieces per day, and we expect to be run out of stock in the middle of April. By that time, we should create a new draft shipment, we should place another order, but this is our job, basically. This is why we have margin, right? Okay, that's my quick review. Hope it's useful. If you have any questions, please text me, find me on LinkedIn, text me here, connect your store. If you want to test your Amazon FBA store with propamp.ai, be my guest. Just text, I'll give it to you. I will onboard you for free. All right, have a good one. Bye.